There are 3 rules in the best friend code that you simply do not break. Rule number 1, you never tell her secrets. Rule number 2, you never judge her parenting, at least not to her face. And rule number 3, you never, under any circumstances, touch her son. I am Julianne. I am 46 years old. I am a crisis manager for New York's elite. When a CEO tweets something stupid or a politician gets caught in a hotel room, they call me. I clean up messes. I polish rough edges. I make problems disappear. My life is white, beige, and gray. It is sterile. It is controlled. I haven't been touched by a man in 3 years, and frankly, I had convinced myself I didn't miss it. Then came the assignment. My best friend Beverly, a woman who treats her children like accessories and her husband's like ATM machines, begged me to help her. "Fix him, Jules," she pleaded over mimosas. "Noah is a disaster. He's wasting his potential. He's 22, dirty, and stubborn. Mold him. Make him into a CEO. Make him presentable." I agreed. I thought it was just another job, another makeover, another PR strategy. I walked into that garage expecting a bratty, lazy boy who played video games all day. I didn't expect Noah. I didn't expect the grease, the intensity, or the way he looked at me, not as his mother's friend, but as a woman who was starving. I was supposed to teach him how to wear a suit. Instead, he taught me how to take one off. And now, I am staring at the ceiling of my guest house, listening to the shower run, knowing that I have just destroyed a 20-year friendship. And God help me, I would do it again. It started 4 weeks ago at Sarah Beth's on Central Park South. Beverly was on her 3rd mimosa. Beverly is the kind of woman who has live, laugh, love signs in her $10 million Hamptons estate, but actually does none of those things. She stresses, screams, and shops. "I'm at my wit's end, Jules," she groaned, picking at her lobster salad. "Noah has been back from Europe for 6 months. He refuses to apply to the firm. He refuses to cut his hair. He spends all day in that dungeon of a garage." "He's 22, Bev," I said, sipping my black coffee. "He's finding himself." "He's finding Greece," she snapped. "His father is furious. We have a seat waiting for him on the board in 2 years. He needs to look the part. He needs polish. He needs you." I raised an eyebrow. "Me?" "Yes. You fix people. You take rough, unpolished men and turn them into statesmen. I want you to hire him or consult with him, whatever you call it. Rebrand him, Jules. Get him out of those T-shirts and into a Brooks Brothers suit. Get him to speak in full sentences. Bev, I handle corporate crises. I don't babysit. Please." She grabbed my hand. Her diamond rings dug into my skin. "I'll pay your full consultant rate. Double it. Just go out to the Hamptons house for the summer, stay in the guest cottage, work your magic, make him a man we can be proud of." I hesitated. My summer was open. My own apartment was undergoing renovations. And, honestly, I was bored. My life had become a series of emails and empty evenings. "Fine," I sighed. "I'll go out there, I'll assess him. But if he's unteachable, I walk." "Oh, he's teachable," Beverly beamed. "He just needs a firm hand." If only she knew. A firm hand was exactly what he needed, just not the way she imagined. I arrived at the estate on a Tuesday. The main house was empty. Beverly and her husband were in Paris for Fashion Week. The grounds were silent, except for a low, rhythmic thrumming coming from the converted barn at the edge of the property. The dungeon. I walked over. I was wearing my armor, white linen trousers, a silk blouse, sunglasses that cost more than a Honda Civic. I carried a clipboard. I was ready to lecture a lazy Gen Z kid about resume formatting. I pushed open the heavy sliding door. The smell hit me first. Motor oil, old leather, gasoline, and underneath it all, the sharp, salty scent of sweat. It wasn't a dungeon. It was a workshop. Vintage cars were everywhere. A skeleton of a '69 Mustang, a pristine Jaguar E-Type. Parts hung from the ceiling like art. And there, under the lift, was a pair of legs. "Noah," I called out. My voice echoed in the cavernous space. The music stopped. The legs slid out. He stood up. My breath caught in my throat. This wasn't the scrawny teenager I remembered from Christmas cards. Noah was 6'2". He was wearing coveralls tied at the waist, revealing a white tank top that was clinging to a chest damp with exertion. His arms were covered in grease and tattoos, intricate, dark ink that disappeared under the fabric. He had jaw-length dark hair, pushed back with a bandana. He wiped his hands on a rag, leaving streaks of oil on his skin. He looked at me. His eyes were dark, intelligent, and completely unimpressed. "Aunt Julianne," he drawled. "Did my mother send the cavalry?" "She sent a consultant," I corrected, trying to keep my voice steady. "And stop calling me Aunt. We're not related." "Thank God for that," he muttered, tossing the rag onto a bench. He walked toward me. He didn't respect my personal space. He stood close enough that I could feel the heat radiating off him. "So," he looked me up and down, "you're here to fix me. That's the terminology she uses, right? I'm here to help you maximize your potential." I used my corporate speak. "Your mother is worried about your future. My future is right here." He gestured to the cars. "I restore classics. I take broken, beautiful things and I make them run again. I make 6 figures doing this, Julianne. But to her, it's just playing with cars." I was surprised. "You make 6 figures? Private collectors pay a lot for a perfect restoration, but Mom doesn't care about the money. She cares about the image. She wants me in a suit." He leaned against the Jaguar, crossing his arms. The muscles in his biceps flexed. "So, go ahead. Fix me. Tell me to cut my hair. Tell me to cover my tattoos. Earn your paycheck." I looked at him. I saw the defiance, but I also saw the hurt. He was a brilliant artisan, and his mother was ashamed of him. "I'm not going to tell you to cut your hair," I said softly. "It suits you." He blinked. The arrogance slipped for a second. "But," I continued, stepping into my role, "if you want them to respect this," I pointed to the cars, "you have to learn to sell it in their language. That's what I do. I translate value." "Fine," he said. "Translate me." For 2 weeks we existed in a strange limbo. In the mornings, I forced him to come to the main house. We worked on his brand. I taught him how to articulate his business plan to his father. I taught him how to dress for a client meeting without sacrificing his style. He was smart, scary smart. He absorbed everything. In the afternoons, he dragged me to the garage. "If I have to learn your world, you have to learn mine," he insisted. He put me in a pair of oversized coveralls. He taught me the difference between a carburetor and fuel injection. I ruined a manicure. I got grease on my cheek. And for the first time in 20 years, I laughed. I mean, really laughed. But there was something else growing. A tension, a hum. I would catch him watching me when I was reading his business proposal. He wouldn't look away. His gaze was heavy, tactile, and I found myself watching him. I watched the way his hands moved, strong, precise, gentle. I watched the sweat trickle down his neck. I told myself it was fine. "He's 22, I repeated like a mantra. "He's a child." But he didn't act like a child. He acted like a man who knew exactly what he wanted. One evening, we were in the study. It was raining. We were drinking wine. "Why are you alone, Julianne?" he asked suddenly. I looked up from my laptop. "I'm not alone. I have friends. I have a career." "You know what I mean," he said. "You're beautiful. You're smart. You're terrifying in the best way. Why is there no one? Men my age want women who are softer," I admitted, the wine loosening my tongue. "They want someone to admire them. I'm too busy fixing them. It kills the romance." "Maybe you're just dating weak men," he said quietly. "And you're an expert on men?" I teased. "I'm an expert on engines," he said, leaning forward. "And I know that you can't run an engine at high speed forever without overheating. You're overheating, Jules. You're just hiding the steam." My heart hammered against my ribs. "Don't call me Jules." "Why?" "That's who you are. Julianne is the suit. Jules is the woman underneath." He reached out and touched my hand. Just a brush of his fingertips. I should have pulled away. I didn't. The turning point was the GTO. He finished restoring a 1967 Pontiac GTO. It was black, chrome, and menacing, a beast of a car. "It's done," he said, wiping his hands. "She needs a test drive. Come with me. I have calls to make." Get in the car, Jules. We drove out of the estate and onto the back roads of the Hamptons. The engine roared. The vibration of the car rumbled through the seats. It was visceral. Noah drove with an easy, arrogant confidence. One hand on the wheel, shifting gears with the other. He looked free. I looked at his profile, the sharp jawline, the focus. I felt a pang of desire so sharp it almost hurt. He pulled the car over onto a bluff overlooking the ocean. The sun was setting, painting the sky in violent purples and oranges. He killed the engine. The silence was sudden and loud. My mother comes back on Friday, he said, staring out at the water. I know, I said. You're ready? You have the presentation. You look the part. My job is done. Is it? Ha! Turned to me in the small cabin of the car. You taught me how to talk to them. You taught me how to wear the suit. But you haven't fixed the real problem. What's the real problem? The problem, he whispered, is that I don't want to impress them. I want to impress you. Noah, don't give me the age speech, he cut me off. I've listened to you for 3 weeks. I know all the logical reasons why this is wrong. I know you're my mother's friend. I know I'm 22. He unbuckled his seatbelt. He shifted so he was facing me. But logic doesn't account for this. He reached out and touched my face. His hand was rough, calloused. It felt real. It felt grounding. You look at me like I'm a project, he said. But sometimes you look at me like you want to devour me. Which is it, Julianne? I looked at him. I could be the responsible adult. I could open the door, walk away, and keep my clean, sterile life. Or I could admit the truth, that I was starving. And he was the only thing on the menu. I'm not your project manager right now, I whispered. Good, he growled. He leaned across the console. He kissed me. It wasn't a tentative, boyish kiss. It was hungry. It was possessive. He kissed me like he was trying to breathe me in. I tasted motor oil and mint, my hands, usually so controlled, tangled in his long hair. I pulled him closer. The leather seats creaked. The windows started to fog. Not here, I gasped, pulling back. Anyone could drive by? Then where? He asked. His eyes were blown wide, dark with lust. The guest house, I said. My place. He started the car. He drove fast. And for the first time in my life, I didn't tell the driver to slow down. We barely made it through the door. He pressed me against the wall of the entryway. His hands were everywhere, in my hair, on my waist, gripping my thighs. You have no idea, he murmured against my neck. You have no idea how long I've wanted to mess up that perfect hair. You're 22, I said, a last weak protest. And I'm the only one here, he said. He lifted me up. I wrapped my legs around him. He carried me to the bedroom. He didn't rush. He wasn't the clumsy boy I feared he might be. He was an artisan. He took things apart to understand them, and that night, he took me apart. He stripped away the crisis manager. He stripped away the best friend. He stripped away the 46-year-old spinster. He made me feel visible. He made me feel young. But more than that, he made me feel wanted. Not for what I could do for him, but for who I was. Turn the light on, he said, when I tried to hide in the dark. No, I whispered. My body isn't. Turn it on, he commanded, softly. I want to see the masterpiece. He turned the lamp on. He looked at me, at the softness, at the scars, at the age, and he worshipped it. We slept in a tangle of limbs. I woke up at 3:00 a.m. The moonlight was filtering in. Noah was asleep, one arm thrown over his head. I looked at him. I looked at the contrast of his tattooed skin against my white sheets. The panic set in. Beverly was coming home in 2 days. I had slept with her son. I had broken the code. I got out of bed, put on my robe, and poured a glass of whiskey. I stared out the window at the dark garage. I had fixed him, all right, but in the process, I had broken everything else. And the worst part, I heard him stir. I heard his voice, sleepy and deep. Come back to bed, Jules. And I went. They say the morning after is when the regret sets in. For me, it wasn't regret. It was terror. I stood in front of the mirror, buttoning my silk blouse to the chin, trying to hide the mark Noah had left on my neck. I applied concealer with the precision of a surgeon. You're panicking, Noah said. His voice was rough with sleep, a sound that sent a shiver straight down my spine. I am assessing the risk, I corrected, grabbing my briefcase. Your mother lands in 4 hours, Noah. This, I gestured between us, never happened. We are professional. I am the consultant. You are the client. He stood up and walked over to me. He towered over me. You can lie to her, Jules, but don't lie to me. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. He leaned down and kissed my forehead. It was tender, possessive. I'll see you at dinner. I'll wear the suit. He left. I sat on the edge of the bed and hyperventilated for exactly 2 minutes. Then I pulled myself together. I am Julianne. I handle scandals for senators. I can handle a 22-year-old boy. Or so I thought. Beverly arrived like a hurricane, throwing bags of designer clothes into the foyer and demanding a martini. Paris was exhausted, she declared. But tell me, Jules, tell me you worked a miracle. See for yourself, I said, my voice tight. Noah walked into the room. I had chosen the suit, a navy charcoal blend, slim fit. We had cut his hair, but not too short, just enough to tame it. He was clean-shaven. He looked expensive. He looked powerful. But when he looked at me across the room, his eyes were still the eyes of the mechanic who had unraveled me in the dark. Beverly gasped. She actually dropped her olive. Oh my God, she whispered. Noah, is that you? Hello, Mother, he said smoothly. He kissed her cheek. Welcome home. He sat down. He placed a napkin on his lap. He poured water for everyone. Beverly looked at me with tears in her eyes. Jules, she mouthed, you are a genius. Dinner was a torture chamber. Beverly spent 2 hours raving about Noah's transformation. Look at his posture, Robert, she chirped. Look at how he holds his fork. Julianne, whatever you did to him, it's magic. You didn't just polish him, you completely reinvented him. I just gave him some confidence, I said, staring at my plate. Confidence? Beverly laughed. He's glowing. I haven't seen him this alive in years. You must have really gotten deep into his head. Under the table, I felt a knee press against mine. It was firm, intentional. I looked up. Noah was sipping his wine, looking straight at me. A tiny, dangerous smirk played on his lips. I'm not in his head, Bev, I thought. I'm in his blood. So, Noah, Robert grunted. Ready for the board interview on Monday? Actually, Noah said, his voice steady. I have a different proposal. I've prepared a business plan to expand the restoration garage. I want to turn it into a luxury heritage brand. Beverly's smile faltered. The garage? But Noah, the board. Let's discuss it later, I interjected. Quickly. Tonight is for celebration. I moved my knee away. Noah's eyes darkened. He didn't like me managing him anymore. I realized then that I hadn't created a puppet. I had unleashed a man, and I couldn't control him. The cracks started to show the next day. I was in the pool house, which I was using as a temporary office. Beverly walked in. She wasn't smiling. She was holding a bandana. The bandana. The one Noah used to tie back his hair in the garage. The one that smelled like motor oil. And him. Jules, she said. Her voice was strangely flat. Hey, Bev, what's up? I found this, she said, holding up the cloth. Okay, it's Noah's. Yes, I know. She walked closer. I found it in your guest cottage, tucked under the pillow of your bed. My heart stopped beating. I had made the bed. I had checked everything. How did I miss it? He must have dropped it when we were working, I lied. We had a strategy session in the cottage. In the bedroom? Beverly asked. In the sitting area. He probably threw it down. Beverly looked at me. She has known me for 20 years. She knows my poker face. She knows when I'm spinning a story for a client. Julianne, she said, her voice trembling. Don't spin me. I'm not the press. I'm not spinning you. Then why did the maid tell me she saw Noah leaving your cottage at 3:00 a.m. 2 nights ago? The trap snapped shut. I froze. There was no PR strategy for this. There was no spin. Bev, I whispered. Tell me it's not true, she pleaded. Tell me you didn't sleep with my son. Tell me you didn't take the boy I asked you to help and use him. I looked her in the eye. I owed her the truth. I didn't use him, I said quietly. And he didn't use me. It just happened. Beverly's face crumpled. Then it hardened into stone. It just happened, she screamed. He is 22. He is a baby. You are 46. You are my best friend. You are supposed to be his God, his aunt, practically. I am not his aunt, and he is not a baby. He's a man, Beverly. A man you don't even know because you're too busy trying to turn him into a mannequin. Get out, she hissed. Beverly, please. Get out. Get off my property. You're fired. Our friendship is over. I never want to see you again. She threw the bandana at my face. I hope it was worth it, Julianne. I hope destroying this family was worth the thrill. I packed my bags in 10 minutes. I drove back to the city in a blur of tears. I had lost my best friend. I had lost a major client. I had humiliated myself. I sat in my empty gray apartment, drinking expensive scotch, waiting for the world to end. Noah called. I declined it. He texted, "Where are you?" "Mom is freaking out. Pick up." I blocked the number. I had to be the adult. I had to be the fixer. The only way to fix this was to remove myself from the equation. If I disappeared, maybe Beverly would forgive him. Maybe he would go back to the board seat. Maybe he would have the life he was supposed to have. I spent a week in isolation. I didn't eat. I didn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I felt his hands on me. I heard his voice saying, "Turn the light on." I told myself it was a fling, a midlife crisis, a mistake. But deep down, I knew it was the only real thing that had happened to me in decades, and I had thrown it away to save my reputation. I heard about what happened next from a mutual friend. Monday morning, the board meeting. Beverly had orchestrated it perfectly, the suit, the haircut, the script. Noah walked in. He sat at the head of the table. The chairman asked him, "So, Noah, are you ready to join the family legacy?" Noah looked at the paperwork. He looked at his mother. Then he stood up. "No," he said. "Excuse me?" Beverly gasped. "I'm not taking the seat," Noah said, "and I'm not wearing this suit anymore." He took off the jacket. He loosened the tie. "I restore cars," he told the room. "That's who I am, and I'm good at it. I'm not going to spend my life pretending to be someone else just to make my mother comfortable." He looked at Beverly. "And I'm not going to let you bully the woman I love." The room gasped. "Noah!" Beverly shrieked. "Stop this!" "You fired her," Noah said, his voice rising. "You kicked her out because she saw me. She saw the real me, and she didn't try to change it. She loved it." He walked to the door. "I'm done, Mom. I'm building my own company, and I'm going to get her back." He walked out of the skyscraper. He got in his GTO, and he drove straight to my apartment building. I was walking to the deli to get coffee, trying to feel normal. I heard the engine before I saw the car, that deep, guttural roar. The black GTO pulled up to the curb, illegally parking in a loading zone. The door opened. Noah stepped out. He was soaked in seconds. He was wearing his grease-stained t-shirt and jeans. The suit was gone. He looked furious and beautiful. "You blocked me," he shouted over the rain. I stopped. My umbrella shook in my hand. "Noah, go home." "I don't have a home," he yelled, walking toward me. "I walked out. I quit the board. I quit the estate." "You... what?" "I chose the garage, and I chose you." He stopped in front of me. He was dripping wet, hair plastered to his face. "You tried to fix me, Julianne. You tried to make me fit into their box, and then you ran away when it got too real." "I ran away to save you," I cried. "You're 22. You have a whole life." "Stop counting." He grabbed my shoulders. "Stop looking at the calendar and look at me." He took a breath. "I have never felt understood by anyone until you walked into that garage. You challenge me. You scare me. You make me want to be better, not different, better." He looked deep into my eyes. "I'm starting my own restoration firm. I have investors. I'm going to be huge. But I don't want to do it alone. I need a partner. I need a crisis manager. I need a woman who knows how to handle an engine that runs hot." "Noah," I whispered, "your mother, my mother will get over it. Or she won't. I don't care. I care about us." He reached out his hand, the hand I had watched work on the engine, the hand that had touched every part of me. "Come with me, Jules. Get in the car. Let's make a mess." I looked at the wet pavement. I looked at my safe gray building. Then I looked at him. The fire, the chaos, the love. I dropped my umbrella. I took his hand. Okay, I said. Let's drive. That was a year ago. We opened Miller and Vance Restorations. He handles the cars, I handle the business and the brand. We have a waiting list of 6 months. Beverly hasn't spoken to me yet. She sends Noah polite text messages on holidays, but I'm still persona non grata. It hurts. I miss her. But some bridges have to burn to light the way. People talk. Of course they talk. We walk into a restaurant and I see the math happening in their heads. She's 47. He's 23. Is that her son? Sometimes, just to mess with them, I grab his face and kiss him until they look away. Noah was right. I spent my whole life fixing other people's problems, smoothing over rough edges, staging perfection. But life isn't meant to be smooth. It's meant to be driven hard. It's meant to get messy. I didn't fix the boy. He fixed me. Love doesn't ask for permission. If this story revved your engine, hit like and subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to break the rules.